What's up? I'm on Evolved, Perfect World International, all that good stuff. My day is going pretty good. Hopefully yours is. You can always leave a comment on that if you wish. So why is it that ones that need help are the ones that do not get this such needed help? Is it something that we have to deal with? Why is it that ones that actually stand for something good get punished for the fact they stand for good, when it is the ones that do not get rewarded for the fact that it is they do not? Why does it seem to happen to be this way? Is it something that needs to change? If it is that you think it should not, you may want to rethink your standing on such things that it should not. But why would it be that maybe you might think that? Is it that you do not like being a person of good standing? For ones with honor are ones that have good standing. But why would it be that ones would think such things as this? Why is it that it happens to be this way and happen to be what it is within what our reality we happen to see? Is it that maybe there's no more good left within? Why is it that the ones that happen to fight for good are the ones that always get the short end of the stick? No matter what it is that happens to be. Is there just no more honesty? Could it be maybe we need to rethink and evaluate? Speak up and not hesitate? Why is it that ones, when they see such things, why is it they find entertainment instead of disgust in such things? Why is it this way? Why is it not the other way? For the ones that stand for good, why does it seem you get punished when it is you stand for good? Why is it that ones that do things that are dishonest get rewarded in public for what they do, for what it is that is dishonest? Is it something that maybe I miss? Is it something that the goodness that is within most is gone, for it is not the light of the most? Why is it that amongst certain things there is no subtle differences between those things? Why is it that at times that line seems to be blurred? For what is good, why does it seem that one's think for what is actually bad is something that is good? Why is it that no one stands against? Is there no one left that is willing to stand against? Are there ones that do, but they are few and far between, so the viewing of them is very slim compared to what it is that the majority, as far as what is not, is what it is that you happen to see in this spot. Maybe why is it that you get flooded by bad information when it happens to be one-sided information? Is it that they hide the good from you? Is it that they own the information so they can twist it all they want? Is it that it doesn't matter if it is that is what it is they want? For ones that maybe wish to actually see for what truthfully is going on. Why is it they do not go to ones that actually show unprejudiced news? Instead of falling for what it is that happens to be the misinformed ruse? Why is it that many do not think of these such things? Why is it for the search of knowledge they do not seek out these kinds of things? Is it that for that is what it is they wish for us to see? Wish for you to be in fear for what it is that is around you, for what it is you see? Is it maybe that they try to use such things as control mechanisms? Is it that you have fallen for these mechanisms? Is it that you do not pay attention to for what actually is going on? Or is it that for the ones that are good, they do not wish for that to be seen? Why is it that for that the world does not see? Is it that it is hidden from you? Is it that that is what it is you wish to view? Why is it that you take it for what it they happen to show you, without questioning upon what it is they happen to show you? Do you not see through for what it is they do? The ones that wish to mislead you. Not saying all do, but can you cut through the noise for the ones that do? Why is it this has never been thought by you? Why is it that you see all these negative plans to get things off of you? Maybe scams and other things such as this? Have you ever take a few minutes to ponder such things as this? Always a new way for you to be within what it is that certain wish for you to be. Why is it that you are blind to see? Why is it This is the way the world happens to be. Is it because you do not notice for what it is you see? Is it that you do not fully comprehend? Is it that amongst what it is that is your freedoms, are these things they wish for you to not have in the end? Why is it you have not started to think of these? Why is it that you do not protect such things as these? Wish to have a small example. You wish to see some messed up example? This whole protesting thing. For what it is that they have said that they have rights to do. See for what it is they have said that the ones they protest against, the opposite for what they cannot do. I dare you, and you will see that within that they are doing racism against them when they do that. Even by the Supreme Court, these such things have been said. So you will give them their right to do that, but not the other side. Justice being blind, my friend. Better hope someone doesn't find that out. Because if they do, well... You can like it or not. You want to say it's right for them to do for what it is they do. But yet, the other side gets criticized for things that are similar that they do? Separation of church and state. Not only that, is it fair in that place? I hope I stepped upon some toes in that place. For at least at that point, I know the same direction we happen to face. So why is it that it happens to be that way? What happens when it is proven upon the fact equal as far as that such thing is not? What happens when someone stands up for what is right? But why is it happened to be this way? Is there something subtle for what it is that happens upon this day? For what it is that one happens to believe? Being ridiculed for what it is they believe? For what it is they practice, but yet another can do something similar? And they are protected. You might want to make sure that is equal as far as what it is that you are protecting. If it is, you do not. What happens if that justice is served upon this spot? So why is it happened to be this way? Within what it is that is right. To tell one they cannot do something that is a religious thing, but yet one that happens to protest they can do something similar upon this day and not get in trouble, and they say it's okay. You might want to reevaluate your decision. Otherwise, what happens if someone sues you because of your decision? So why is it that these kinds of things are not equal? Hmm? By the way, I wish to mention something else. With this whole protest thing as well, I'm not going to harp on this, but I will mention something that you may not know. Did you know there are laws that defacing memorials, you can go to jail? Yet, they did not do that. Hmm. Might want to stop doing dumb stuff. What happens if they choose to not overlook such things as that kind of stuff? Why is it that they didn't? Makes me wonder upon why it is they didn't. Why is it that it happens to be that way? Is there something twisted amongst these things? Have you taken the time to know and be educated about these such things? Have you not noticed certain things? Why is it that certain ones happen to be going through certain things? By the way, if you wish to prove they were or were not there, one way you can prove if they were there. Beautiful thing about a phone. Every time you receive a message or you open something up, there's a ping on the exact location of where you open it up. Why is it that they have not thought of such things as this? Is there any true evidence for what it is they are accused with this? And by the way, with the line of work of both, very necessary to have with them both. Why is it that stories have not lined up? Why is it the one that happened to stand for something that is right is the one that is in a useless and set-up fight? Hmm. What happens, my coy and sly little friends, if there's truth shown to your lies? Where does that end? So why is it people have not noticed things that they should notice? No matter for what it is. No matter if it is they wish to see for what it is that happens to be good. What happens if it is you are bombarded by everything that is opposite of good? Easy way to fix that. Turn off, or whatever, to where you do not be associated with that. Do you realize how much information you are flooded with upon every day? Do you realize how much information passes you by as well? How many posts on Facebook do you look upon today? How many things do you know that passes your way? More information than you could overtake. If there's millions and millions of people posting information upon this day, how many important things do you actually miss upon this day? How many things is it that you should know about such things as this? Is there a way maybe you can filter through for what it is you wish to see with that? See a post you do not like? You realize that you can block that person for what it is they do with that? Or even put within the algorithm that you do not like to see that within your algorithm. By the way, speaking of that upon this day, even amongst what it is that you look at, you know, they keep records for what it is you look at. You know that, right? Is it something good? Is it something bad? No matter what it is. Is it information that you shouldn't be looking at? Why is it? Do you not know that maybe you get red flagged for what it is you look at? Even amongst who it is that does what it is they do. No matter influencers or other things, there's always one that happens to look behind the scenes. To know for what it is they happen to be doing and all that behind the scenes. There's always one that keeps tabs upon you. Regardless if you know they do. Now why would it be that it is that way? As far as that, depending on your status, many may know for what it is you do. Many may know for everything or where you go, depending on your status. Some, for this information, they do not need to know. But why is it that it happens to be that way? Behind the scenes, maybe? Puppets and other things such as this? For someone that is a majorly important figure. can they say for where it is they were, for when it is that they happen to be? That is another way, for also for what it is I said amongst with this. Do you think that these two that happen to be doing their little case do not have someone watching for what it is they do upon their day? Exact record and all that of where they were upon that day. But why is it no one has noticed that? Why is it no one has brought that? At least to my recollection. Of course I don't pay attention too much. They may have already done such things as that, and I've already shown such things as such. Amongst ones of great importance. Usually many watch for ones that are of great importance. Because of the fact of their importance. But why is it that you do not think of that kind of thing because of their importance? Even amongst what it is that you happen to see. All these nice little cameras and other things that happen to be. You realize they can foretell where it is that you are. For where you go, your habits upon that day. What it is you do once a week. No matter what it is you happen to do. Why is it that these things are not noticed by you? Even amongst this. You know, all those ones where you can see it upon your phone. What happens if someone finds out how to see it upon their phone? What happens if there's one that happens to remote view? That controls the server that is not, and is able to do so if they wish, without permission of you. Did you ever think of that? I mean, even amongst this game I happen to play. Right now, a game master could be watching me and I would not know. But why is it that people do not think of such things when not the right thing they happen to do? Why is it, do you not know that many times there are multiple eyes upon you? I mean, that even applies to me. But I already know that. For the ones that do not know that, these are the ones I happen to speak. You ever notice everything is going to digital as far as most all things? Even within my state, they are going to be doing something this year. You know, like the toll roads and other things. They will have cashless. There will be no person that is there. Now, why is it that you have not noticed that? You realize the applications and all of that, of how and where they could use that? Do these things not bother you? Then all these ones using AI and other things. Do these things not bother you as well? Now I understand there are places and good things to use that with. But why is it that ones think that there are not ones that control for what it is they think? For what it is they do for you? Who is the one that tells them for what it is they are to do? That is my question to you. Do you not remember the Alexa scare a while back? You realize they were using AI when that happened, and that was the result of that? When Alexa automatically started doing things without being asked? What happens if this AI all of a sudden starts doing things that you do not wish it to do? Because of someone else that is in control of it, that is not you. Why is it these are things that you have not thought of or happen to view? Why is it that people neglect to notice for what it is that, in truth, they need to notice? For what it is that happens to go around you? What happens if you do something that is not the wisest to do? And justice is served to you. Why is it that so many people are ignorant for what it is that happens around them, even when there are many people? Why is it that certain ones think they cannot accomplish what it is that only their awareness needs to be there to be able to accomplish? For what it is they need to, and they wish to, for what it is they feel they need to. Now you may notice that I'm all over the place. Got a lot of things amongst my mind in this place. Just asking questions and showing things you may not know. But my question is, at this point, after that I happen to say and show, why is it that the ones that happen to stand for good get ridiculed for what it is they stand, that is, for good? If you pay attention to everything that I've spoken about, it fits within the subject of what that is about. For at least most. But the only one that isn't is the AI amongst that. Just asking questions, making you think. Is it interesting when you take and use your mind to think? Is it that you couldn't tell for what it is? Even if it was shown for the truth it happened to be and for what it is. In any one of the questions I happen to ask. Up to this point, do you even have answers for what it is I have asked? I know it might be random. But sometimes questions are just asked upon the random. Why is it that amongst things that happen, you do not ask questions for what it is and why it happens? Why is it that you do not try to figure out for what it is that you could do better in that situation? Maybe be better educated to make a better decision. Why is it? But why is it that it is as it is? For what it is. Have we not pinpointed for what we need to establish? Have we not pinpointed for what goals you wish to establish? Bleh. Sometimes it can be a tongue twister. And a side note, I've never done any outtake videos yet, but I have thought about it. Because there's been many times that I'm... Anyway. You don't know how many videos I've made that I've had to do that. Because I try to say something, get all mad. But why is it that this kind of perfection needs to be what it is that is the reflection? Is it that ones that might entertain or think in a different way, or do things that have not been done, or ones that do not understand for what it is, even when it's plainly explained for what it is that happened to have been done? Do ones still think for something must be done? Is that a question that you have asked? If not, why is it not a question you have asked? So I can make that clear. When you see something that should not be, asking upon the fact why it happens to be, trying to find the solution, is this what you do? Or do you think someone else will find that solution? Do you not know that many times that you are the only one that can find that solution? Because if you pass it on to the next, they do not have the equation to solve it, for that is not passed on to the next. Not always do they get the memo. Why is it that you do not notice for others they do not get that memo? If it is you see something that happens to be wrong, why do you not solve that equation and make it right? Not let it remain to be wrong. Why is it that most think, that's not a responsibility of me? But then, why is it do you complain for what it is that you have chosen for it to be the same? Why is it you can't even trust your neighbor? Is it that this bombarding of information has made you distrust your neighbor? When it is they are no different than you. In fact, sometimes they even want to engage with you. Not always so, though. Not all are trustworthy. But it makes you wonder. Why is it that many notice problems, but they do nothing even though they have the solution to these problems? No matter what it may be. Many times that situation, you are the one that can solve it. You have the equation that you are able to solve it. But why is it that you choose not? Do you not know you do yourself and your neighbor a disservice? Do you not know for you solving that problem it could become your service? Many wish to be successful in business, but when it comes time that they could do something for they know the equation to solve that problem, they choose to pawn it off to someone else and make it their problem, not realizing that could have been their catalyst to be for what it is. If it were only they would notice that could have been their catalyst. So the next time you think of some idea that you start to think, well, maybe I won't pursue this idea. That could have been your catalyst to be for whatever it is you wish to be. A service that you could do and for the world to see. No matter what it may be. Why is it that you would pawn it off to another when it is the idea came to you and not another? This is what I mean by why is it that the ones that could do good are punished for what it is. But here's the one thing about that. When you pawn it off to another, Do you not know you're punishing yourself when you try to pawn it off to another? Is it that you think you are not good enough? For the proof of the evidence of the thought is proof you were good enough. It is the evidence of things yet to be seen. Of what ideas and dreams you could make. What kind of whatever it may be you could make. For a better place. For what it is that, within this, you wish to see in this place. But also, along with that, for the ones that stand for good. Why is it that they get punished for what it is they stand for that is good? Small example is whistleblowers. You realize that is the definition of what it is I'm speaking of? Ones that point out upon the fact that what it is that is done is not right and it should not be like that. No matter for what it is or what the other might stand for. Wouldn't it be better for something rooted in truth to stand for? Something that you know if it is you were to get the result, there would not be a bittersweet result. For it would only be sweet. Why is it that no one thinks of this? Instead, they think of the bittersweet way to do this. Getting their reward for what it is they do not deserve. Not putting in the work and then they complain upon what it is they think they deserve. If it is you think you deserve more, but that check keeps coming back with the message, insufficient worth ethic. That is why it comes back. Maybe change upon what it is you do. Maybe put a little bit more actions. Maybe you might get the result you wish to. But have you ever pinpointed upon that fact? Is it that, amongst what it is that you do, is it that you are like the example I'm about to give to you? For the ones that do right, and the ones that do not. Is the difference for the ones that do and do not. The ones that do not, you are like a leaf that is falling off of a tree. Once it hits the ground, there is a wind that is blown. Because of your lack of firm foundation, you have to go where the wind happens to blow. But for the ones that do right, you are like a cornerstone, and the wind cannot blow it, for you are set right. So why is it that you choose not to do right? So why is it that you think you are meek? Why is it that you think that you cannot accomplish? When all you have to believe is anything is possible, for at that point you can accomplish. No matter if it is that you have the view, that ones that stand for good are the ones that get punishment for what it is they do. For if it is you endure, you will not turn to dust, for it is you have been a cornerstone and you are able to endure. But why is it that none stand steadfast? For what morals and other beliefs that they might have? Why is it that they are like the leaf, blown about by the wind? For their commitments and their morals they do not keep. Why is it that so much information happens to pass you by? And your opportunity for things that could be great, because of another's ignorance, happens to die. Why is it that ones wish to take advantage of things that they should not take advantage? Why would it be that these such ones think that they are strong, for, in truth, they are meek, for they will crumble just like the leaf? But why is it? But why is it that ones do not notice this? As far as anything that I have said so far with any of this, very random for what it is I have said at this point. Mainly just questions and other things at this point. But why do people not take advantage of things that could give them the upper hand and the advantage? Use the muscle that controls for what it is they are able to do. Use for what, in a righteous way, you should do. Why is it that so many stand for what it is that happens to be considered to be wicked? But why is it you allow it to happen? Why do you not inform and let them know they should not do and that should not happen? Why is it that you think you can mosey around on your work, not be precise upon what it is you should do with your work? Why is it that you think it's not worth the effort? when it is the world could be a better place if you only were to put in effort. Instead of enjoying for what it is that is your instant gratification. You ever think of ones that do not have the luxury of your instant gratification? Taking advantage of something that is meant for when it is you have earned it. Even amongst things such as this, why do people take advantage of things such as this? Some for what it is they get. Do they honestly deserve for what it is they get? Why is it the ones that are actually within need do not get this, but the ones that waste away with their instant gratification almost always get this? Well, it seems that I need to take an intermission and all that good stuff. Be a great time for you to do so too if you need to. Be a great time to think of questions or anything else such as that. I'll take time after this little intermission, if there are any, to answer them. But I have a question for you real quick. Why does it seem that every time there's something that is beneficial that could be for another individual, is it always taken advantage by another individual? Well, there always seems a new way for someone to scam you as far as whatever it may be. Do they not know that they hurt themselves as well as the rest of society? Do they not know that they ruin the fun that could be? What happens for those that have done such things? If all of a sudden there's justice served for such things. Is it a wise thing to do such a thing as this? Or is it something that you will see your folly when you get your bitter-sweet reward when you do such things as this? At first is the sweet part. Tastes good when it is you get your little treat. But what happens when you get the bitter part of that treat? Do you enjoy the taste at that? When it is that justice is served, when you get to have that, is it a right way to act? Is, in certain circles, that acceptable to do such things as that? Why would it be? You know for a fact it is not. Or you would not have the chance to get a bittersweet reward at that. So the next time you see something that you wish to take advantage of, in a way that you should not, just remember that. Maybe happy and all that. But what happens when justice is served when you get caught doing that? Not a wise way to act in that way. Because you hurt more than just another upon that day. The ones that struggle beyond what it is that you think they should. A lot of times, you are the one that is responsible for what it is that they are suffering. If it was you were to not act that way, more of what could be positive for them could come their way. Do you not know how that works? Butterfly effect, if you want to know how that works. Say, I'll give you a small example, so you may understand within this example. Say there was one that was having an issue, and they felt they needed help amongst that issue. But there was one that did not have, and they lied. Spoke to them, the ones that they would get, for who it is they happen to have lied. They get for what it is that they do not need. And then the supply to the one that is an actual need does not get for what it is. In truth, they are the one that happens to need. You see how that happened there? So every time you do something such as that, something you do not know when you do that, you hurt your neighbor. The very person that you're expecting to get some kind of service from, or give a service to. Because of your dishonesty, they cannot give you for what it is you seek. For within the example, that is the answer that you seek. What happens if that justice happens to be served? Well, there might be investigations upon what it is, blessings, or what you may call it, had been served. And they find for what it is they took advantage, they must pay it back. That plus whatever it is that is decided. So, with your deeds such as this, was it wise for you to do this? That would be your bittersweet reward. You take from who it is that actually needs. When you try to take advantage beyond what it is that is your needs. But why does it seem that these kinds of things happen to be acceptable by doing such things and these means? Surely you understand what it is I mean, do you not? Scammers and other things, ones that do their hustle, that is, without a doubt, not righteous for what it is they do. As far as within the means of what it is they are to do. Holes amongst their story you will find. Cannot remember upon what it is they do or what they say at that time. One of my favorite things to do when a scammer happens to call me is tell them something that I have on my phone. I have a recorder. Every single conversation that goes through anything is recorded. So when somebody is dealing with me in such a certain way, I tell them right away. Just so you know. Makes you wonder why there's so many cameras and other things such where you go. You see where disadvantages of your stupidity is? Dishonesty. Why would you do such a thing? What kind of reward do you get for such things? Is it really worth what it is that you could get when you take advantage of something that, by all rights, you should not get? Or, amongst your heart, I know you know. That is not the right way to go. But why does it seem that ones think that it's acceptable? Every day there's new things such as what it is I speak, or ones that do such things as what it is I speak. Taking advantage of the system in a way that they should not. But what happens when it is they get caught? Is it really worth it? That bittersweet reward. Did it taste good when it was you're getting your unrighteous reward? All I can say, I hope it did. But I know for a fact that bitter part, it definitely did. At least for the ones that actually wish to see justice. Not ones that wish to see, not a blind justice. There's so many resources you can use nowadays to be in a safer place amongst whatever it is they try to do with their foolish and folly types of things. No matter if it may be an umbrella of safety. No matter if it is that you know ways to ensure upon the fact that ones that do such things as that cannot get for what it is they wish to get with that. But it's sad that you must do such things as that. Is there no longer good people amongst these times, such as this that is called that? Where is it that all the ones that have been good? Are there none that happen to be left that are good? It's a sad question to ask. When many times you can't even trust your neighbor. For a bag of sugar, you ask. So maybe the next time that you get that urge, just remember the story for what it is. It may make you rethink your urge. As far as what it is that you would take advantage. Because within certain circles, it is not wise for them to find out that you have taken advantage. And if it is they do, there will definitely be a bittersweet reward sent to you. No matter if it is you think they know for what it is you have done, there are ones that serve justice. Regardless, for what, in truth, should be that justice. So the next time you think, maybe twice, might you want to think. Well, I'm back from my intermission and all that good stuff. So, why is it we don't notice these kinds of things that I've mentioned when we kind of need to? If it is we actually wish to progress in the way that we think we need to. But why is it that many don't think of these such things? When the only way to move forward is to address these kinds of things. To ask questions for when it is that you need to. Find out the answers when it is you need to. And leave alone for what it is you do need to leave alone. Are there very many people that, when it is something they shouldn't leave alone, why is it that within that choice they choose to leave it alone? When, if for only once, they were to think of that, they would make progress more than for what it is that they think they could at that once. But why is it no one ever thinks of this? Or at least few do. Not necessarily saying that is your particular view. But the question is, why is there not awareness upon what it is that is needed and required for progress? You know, that kind of awareness. Why is it that we do not strive for these kinds of things? Is it maybe people are uneducated or misinformed about such things? Is it that we just don't think about such things? Is it something that we should? Is it something, if we did, it would be good? Is it that the ones that do the work that need to be done When I say that, I mean actual pressing matters for what actually needs to be done. Do not ones realize that for when it is you do not do your part, that you make it harder amongst that equation for them to do their part? For the ones that actually need to do for what it is they do? Or is that something that has escaped the attention of you? Is it something that we need to change for what it is we do? Is it something that will always be that way if it is these things we do not do? Is it that this is a misplaced thought? Is it something that can be and cannot, or is it something that is mistaken in this spot? Why would these things we think not? Is it something that we need to? Is it something that we don't? Is it maybe some overthink, while others choose not to think at all? I wonder if that is why so many are not trustworthy at all. Is it that these ones that choose to do things that make society worse, if they were to only to think, they would not make society worse? Is it maybe something that will never work? Is it something just a lost and useless kind of work? Do we even need to consider upon these kinds of things to work? Is it something that is just misplaced? Is it something that is folly upon this place? Is there something that maybe you wish to achieve in this place? Is there something that you wish you could? But because you think that you are not good, makes it hard for you to do for what it is that happens to be good? Do you think it's not possible for you to do? Is it something that, in truth, you actually wish to do? If it is that it is, why is it that it is? If that is a simple question that you cannot ask to another for what aspiration they wish to do, if you ask, if it is not compelling, to yourself, is it even compelling? Do you just understand upon what it is I asked you? You have to convince your first. You have to convince yourself first. Do you not? Is it compelling to you in this spot? Why is it not? If it is that it is not. Have you ever considered trying to answer that question in this spot? Is it something good or is it not? Is it something that could help society or is it something that makes it worse within society? Why is it, if it is, you cannot, as far as answer that in this spot? Why is it that you have not tried to find that answer? For your dreams, you must find the equation and find the answer. If it is, you do not. Then will your dream be fulfilled in this spot? Or because you cannot answer, you will not solve for what it is that is the equal in that answer. Why do you wish to pursue your dream if it is not big enough that you can convince another, or they do not think that you are crazy when you tell them it is too small? You gotta go back to the drawing board. You know why I say it must be crazy, and it's not big enough. Let me give you a lesson. Very easy and very understandable, this lesson. Been speaking about this entire time, every video about this lesson. If it is that your target is here, right there, we have a marker for where it is. Right here. We were back here, right? Do you aim at the target, or do you aim past the target? So, if your dream is one thing particular, aim higher and you will hit it particular. In fact, if you aim high enough, you go so far past it. Because of the fact, when you are aiming past it, you aim so far past it that ones would think that you were crazy as it is you are aiming so far past it. Then, all of a sudden, you accomplish 10 times what it is that you wish to have accomplished. So why is it that you do not accomplish? Why is it that you cannot answer for a very simple question? If it is, you cannot answer, how do you expect for solving for that equation for you to find the answer? Even within the aiming, it is an equation. Distance, relative force, the trajectory of what it is that is your goal and where you want it to go. Aim higher. And you can be successful in what it is you aim for. Aim too short, too low. Nowhere close to that target can you go. Are your dreams crazy? What it is you do for what it is you do people call you crazy? Is it that they think that you are good at what you do? Do you not see that as an insult to you? If it is that someone says that you're good, and you take it, don't get too big of a head when it is you happen to take it. Oh, so you think I'm good? Well, my target is beyond good. Not just at where it is that happens to be good. Beyond for what it is that happens to be good. Why is it that some think, oh, well, I accomplished this. I cannot do any better than this. If you were a weightlifter, you would be plateaued. For what weight you can lift. For you do not push. So at that point you plateau. Just amongst like it is that you aim with your goals. Do you track for what it is you wish to achieve with your goals? Why is it that you do not? Is it something that you neglect to do? End results you get are not? Why is it that amongst the questions that I have asked on the first, do you know what I was doing when I was asking all that amongst the first? In order for you to think properly, to brainstorm for what it is that you could achieve properly, must get them hamsters a turning that wheel. With all the questions I asked, did it make that hamster turn that wheel? Why is it, if it is, that it is not? Did it at least broaden your view upon this spot? If it is that it is not, then why is it not? Wanna know one reason why ones get punished for what it is they do that is good? They do not have a goal that is good. And they see it in a way that they should not. Their perspective upon what it is they see is the wrong way. That is why they do not have success upon this day. Got enemies? Very well. It means that you stand for something upon this time when it is you dwell. Instead of making it to where that makes you stop. Did you not know that could be your own motivation upon this spot? Why is it that many stop because of fear? Is it that they do not know how to properly and know how to use a healthy fear? Did you just catch that? Wait, a healthy fear? What could be a healthy fear? Do you know what one is? I can give you an example of one. Instead of being fearful for your failures, or being afraid of failing, you could be afraid of not failing. That could stop you. That is an unhealthy one. Now, a healthy one is being afraid of what it is that you are not able to accomplish and fully show. Like, so you may understand what I mean. If it is that you were in a challenge to do 5 miles, when you were working towards doing that 5 miles, the fear that you would be below what it is that you know for a fact you could see. Now, I know many might think, wait, but that's a fear of failing. Not really. You use it as a driving force, not one to stop you. Like, say I could do something in 3 minutes. The fear that I could not do it in 3.59 or 2.59 minutes. The fear that I couldn't pass my own. Which with enough work you could. Or the fear that people would not see your stuff to the fullest. Even if you were the best of the best. The fear that you would not show everything you could. Is that a little bit more healthier than thinking that, no, I can't? If that makes any sense. Like the proof that you can do for what it is that you can do. Like the fear of thinking that all things are possible, but you not showing everything that is possible, is the best way to put it. All of a sudden, that becomes a driving force, does it not? Why is it some people do not think of that? There's a difference in the fear of failing and the fear of not failing, but not being able to show everything that you could. There's a difference in that fear. Fear of failing is that you will not succeed at all. The fear I'm speaking of, that you will succeed, but you will not be able to show everything. All of a sudden, if you have that fear, how much more harder do you tend to work? Hopefully that makes sense to you. To me it does, but it's kind of hard to convey it, to be honest. So why is it that people do not realize that what was meant for you to stop yourself could be used to drive yourself? That's turning the tables, is it not? Instead of failing and being afraid of that, all of a sudden you're afraid that you will be successful, but not show everything that you could why it is you are being successful. I can give you an example of one for me. You not fully understanding for what it is that I stand for. That is why I always try to explain myself fully, so there is not a shadow of a doubt to where a jury of 12 could convict for what it is that I stand for. Do you know for what it is that you stand for? I really do hope that last part made sense. But it is, if it is, it did not. Maybe you do not have the proper perspective to understand what it is I said. So it doesn't matter if I explain or not. But that aside, why is it that ones do not set themselves aside? To be the best of the best. To be the best, and there is none that can compete, for that is the rest. For what it is that I speak of has helped for what it is that my reputation has happened to have speak of. When it is that ones have said, how am I to keep up with that? And other things such as that. Using that driving force to be above what it is that most could perform. Knowing for a fact, no matter where it was, I could outperform. No matter upon the field or profession. With a driving force, you could be the best amongst your profession. No matter if it is that that technique for you does not work. There are plenty of other successful habits to have to be the best amongst what it is you work. Why is it that many do not have such things? Why is it that, though for success they say, please, oh please, knock upon my door, but No actions required by me, please. Now why is it that it happens to be that way? For the ones that stand for good, many times they see it that way. That is another thing I was speaking of, by the way. Small example of what I mean upon this day. Do you have someone you might work with that, no matter what they do, they get away with for what it is that you cannot? The ones that work good get rewarded bittersweet, do they not? Why are the ones that stand for good the ones that get punishment for what it is they stand that is good? But the ones that do not, why do they get rewarded while the others get punished? I once had a supervisor try to explain that to me once. For many, they might think that is not fair. But I will tell you this. If there is another that can do something better than you, is it right and justified by your supervisor to expect you to do for what it is they can? No matter your experience. So, the next time that a supervisor or someone that is in charge of you, as far as your 9 to 5, gives you a hard time, but another one gets away with what it is that you see as a crime, the next time that they are harsher upon you, see that as a compliment. That means that you are above, not below. Do not pay attention to something that you should not see as something negative, but something positive towards you. But why is it that many do not notice these kinds of things, and they neglect to notice such things? When it is that maybe one gets away with something that you cannot, just remember this. It means that the one that does not allow you to get away with it believes in you more than them, do they not? It is a compliment, showing that they think that you are better than that person as far as whatever that may be. As far as you can perform better, and they expect to see. So in truth it is that you are rewarded. You just are misinterpreting for what it is that you are rewarded. So the whole statement about that, that is the way that you feel as it is you see that. But in truth it is not that. It is actually the opposite of that. But for within your perception, you see it as a punishment, not a compliment. Within what it is you understand and can comprehend within your perspective. me, being a lead man, to understand this. But ones that have not been in a leadership position before, they see it as the way that I said it before. But open your eyes for what it is that is the truth of what it is that you are not educated enough or understand for what it is that is the truth. It is that you are rewarded. But it is that you do not see it as what it is that you have been rewarded. Do you wish to know what that actually is when it is that you feel that? When it is you watch someone get away with something that your superior does not allow you to? Do you know what that is? I'll give you a hint. You are envious upon what it is they can get away with that you cannot. Did you know that? Upon this spot. But why is it that many do not notice these such things? For you, you see it as a punishment, but in truth it is a compliment. Of course, for you to actually understand that compliment, you would have to be one to give that compliment. Remember the whole thing I said a bit earlier? About the good? Want to be more than good? You realize that is what it is they say when it is they do not allow you to get away with it. Do you know that? Why is it that you do not? You are being rewarded with one thing. You are being rewarded with trust. Amongst who it is you work with, you need trust. It shows that you are one that could be closer to a leadership role than the one that, because of the lack, they could not be that. Why is it that you see it as a punishment when it is, in truth, far from a punishment? You see it all the time. No matter where you go, no matter you're 9 or 5. So, the next time your boss gets mad at you for doing something someone else he allows to do, just know that your boss happens to trust you more than the other. That's a little bit of information that might need to be passed on to you. So why is it that we misunderstand this? Or certain ones that think or cry about for what it is that happens with this, not realizing that they are being complimented in the midst of this? Is it that they are blind to the fact that superior that you have that has done that is proving upon the fact with for what it is they do not allow for what it is you do. They expect and they trust that it will be performed by you. Never thought of it that way, have you? Very few probably ever will. But ones within leadership roles already know how that goes. But for that, eventually, if it is that they do not see that as a uncomplimenting type of thing, maybe within leadership roles, might it be that they are seen? But why is it that amongst that compliment, is it that some see that not as a compliment? Is it that they wish to be able to? For most, that bothers them. Even amongst the first time that happened to me, it bothered me. Until one day I got to see. Or when I learned this lesson. Had someone that was working under me that I was expecting a little bit more. Came to my supervisor, or the one that... best way I can put it, for where it is I worked. I was the floor supervisor, and the other one was like the paperwork one. They told me what it is needed to be done. I made sure it got done. Basically, that's what it is. Came to one and explained the situation, and he's like, well, he explained it to me. Goes, well, you need to pay attention to who works, how they work. And the ones that don't work as good, you have to treat a different way than the ones that do. And the ones that do work better, you already know for what it is you are to expect. They may not like that fact, but you reinforce the fact that you trust them compared to the other. They may not like it, but that is how you are to operate. And it dawned on me at that point. It's like, wait, so that's why you expected more out of me instead of the other person? Is that why it was like I felt like I was being punished when actually I was being complimented for what it was that I was trusted with that the other was not? But for ones that are amongst that, until it is they actually have to do or are explained to such things as that. That first statement is how it is, for they do not understand for what it is. For when it is you expect more out of someone, it means that you trust them more than the other one. For many, they might see that as a punishment. But until they are within a leadership role, that is the only way that they see it. Until it is they understand that role. For amongst the leadership roles, you cannot treat each the same. For what it is that you could or another can accomplish, there is not the same that another can accomplish. For each individual is different. For what it is that is easy for me can be for another be different. For what's easy for them can be something that makes me pull my hair out. But for them, they do not. For them, it is as easy as pie. Making it to where it is easy for your team. No matter who it is that happens to be your team. You must keep in mind for what it is that is able to be done by your team. If it is that you are within a leadership role. But why is it that many, they seek this leadership role? But, quick question about such things as that. Do you perform the job before you get that? Many that have leadership roles or have had it, either A, show upon the fact they are the only one that's able to have it. They show leadership above what it is that is their leadership. Or they take upon the role of leadership before they are officially given and paid for that role of leadership. Why is it so many crave it, but do not understand? For if it is that you crave it, you must act as if you already have it. It's like you wish to have that raise. Do you act as if you already have it? If you do not act as if you have the raise that you wish to have, do you really think your superior will let you have? No, for you have not shown that you are worth that. Wish to get paid more? Show that you are worth more. You wish to get paid less? Well, do the opposite of this. But why is it that many do not notice the things that, if you wish to be successful, you would have to notice? Well, that looks like all the time I have for now. So, until next time.